What's up everyone, it's Sam from 64 Wheels back in more diecast, and today we're going to be unboxing almost a dozen 2025 Matchbox Power Grabs. So the Power Grabs, all those are the regular mainline cars in the classic Matchbox looking Matchbox. These are pretty much the same price as a mainline. I mostly find these at Kroger, Myers, stores like that. I found all of these this time at a Myers store. That's more of a Midwest competitor to Walmart. I don't know if they have them in like California or Florida. I haven't seen them down south, but they might have them. But that's where I found all these. Again, like I said, they're basically normal price. They might be a touch more than the regular mainline, but I like them. They take up much less room if you're into collecting carded stuff, because you can fit, like, there's almost a dozen here. If this was a dozen mainlines, you would have them stacked up. You kind of have to worry about the card corners, where these, the corners don't really bend as much. I've even dropped some of these in the store and coming home. That is one thing about them. They're very hard to carry, especially if you're like myself. I don't usually get a basket or a cart, and I'm just like fumbling through the store like this, like looking for Lucky Charms or Dr. Pepper, and there's like adults in the aisle, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm dropping my toys all over the place while you try to shop. But other than that, I don't mind these Power Grabs at all. I have a bunch of them in my collection, and like I said, they store easy, they have great box art. So I don't really mind these whatsoever. It would kind of be cool to see Hot Wheels do a version of this. Even though I know Matchbox is doing it for like the throwback Matchbox packaging, I think it would still be cool, and it would take up less room, especially when you buy a lot of Hot Wheels. So let's go through these. Most of these are brand new for 2025 models. As you can see, the left side are all brand new models. These are returning models, but I thought they were cool, and I haven't unboxed some of them before, so we'll take a look at those as well. So let's take a look at them, and then we'll bust them open. So first off, we have the 2023 BMW i4 Police Sedan. Excellent box art, or yeah, box art, right? So it's the same as the card art, but I just think it looks a little more dynamic on the actual box. I think they're able to give you more of the background, so you get more of that actual artwork. But this is cool. European police car. It's always fun to add a new police car to the lineup. So next up, the 2023 Chevy Corvette Z06 convertible. This is going to be an awesome one. I'm very excited about it. The card art, it almost looks like it's going through like an underpass or something, looking very sinister in that all black with the red lined wheels. That should be awesome. Very much looking forward to that. So next up, we have the 2025 Ram 1500 REV, the Rev, which I do believe is the electric version of the Ram. And that kind of goes with what Matchbox is trying to do with their line. They're the more like climate, global conscious over Hot Wheels. They try to use a lot of recycled materials, and they have a lot of EV compact casting, so that kind of makes sense. And they also have like recycling, a lot of like recycling elements to the box. They want you to throw them away. They used to come in plastic inside, and now some of them are wrapped in paper, so they're trying to be more environmentally conscious, which, you know, shout out to Matchbox for doing that in the first place. But then that does lead them to make a lot of electric cars. So we have the electric Ram. That should be fun to open. Next up, another electric car, the 2023 Ford E-Transit Custom. You can tell it's electric. Like, they just seem to be a little more sleek in design and have that like EV style smooth grille. So that'll be cool to see how Matchbox executes that. Even if it is an electric car and it's not really your thing, Matchbox still does a really good job at the design. So next up, forgive me if I butchered the name, the 1970 Citroen 2CV. So even though if you don't know the make and model of this car, you'll probably recognize this car from like 70s movies, whether they're European or American. This is just a very recognizable car design. It's almost like the like French Volkswagen, that kind of what it reminds me of. It just seems everywhere. It has that very like lovable round design, so that'll be cool. And it'll be cool to compare this to another casting, this Matchbox Turf Hauler 2, this giant construction dump truck, because that's the one bad thing about Hot Wheels, Matchbox, whatever. They make the car to fit the box or the packaging, so the scale is secondary to that. So you'll get a Citroen that is the same size as the huge giant dump truck, so it'll be interesting to see how they pull that off if this is giant where it's a little bit smaller. But this is cool. I'm very excited about this one, the new dump truck. This is a more modern take. As you can see, like, things are kind of rounded rather than the 80s, 90s construction dump trucks, especially the giant Caterpillars. They were more like very squared off, where this has some rounded edges. So it looks a little more playful, modern, which is what we expect from Matchbox. So that one, very much looking forward to it. And then lastly, for the new ones, the GMC 3500 utility truck. This will probably be a fan favorite. A lot of these like utility trucks are, but the weird thing about this is this doesn't have any GMC logoing on it. So if I covered up the corner, to me that almost looks like a fantasy casting. So it's going to be interesting to see if they have the branding actually on the truck, like on the front anywhere. I don't know in real life. I thought it does have the branding in the grill, or at least on the top. So we'll have to take a look at that and see. And then the returning castings, we have the 1940 Dodge V-Series truck. And it's cool that Matchbox does some of these more obscure castings, because we get a ton of square bodies, C10s, Chevys. We get a lot of older Fords, but you don't get a lot of older Dodges. So shout out to Matchbox for doing the obscure stuff. And speaking of Ford trucks, we have the beautiful 1970 Ford Bronco in almost a metallic mint green. So that'll be fun to unbox. And then this is the first time I think we're unboxing this one. The 2023 Toyota GR Supra. This came out last year, I believe, as a new casting, maybe the year before. I don't think I've unboxed any of them. Maybe, I can't remember, but it looks great in yellow, so that one should be fun. And lastly, we have the Garbage King, a recolor in red and gold, and I love garbage trucks, so I try to collect all of them, even if they're like the, you know, like fantasy style ones. But this is cool because I hadn't seen this paint job before, so that one should be fun to open. So let's go ahead and start with the new one. So we'll kind of go, let's start with the Ram. Let's start with this one. So the Ram 1500, I'm not going to keep the box. These aren't like ones I keep. Now, if like, I'll keep the box if it's like a Matchbox collector one, like the $5 ones I'll keep. But these are just ones I kind of rip up and throw away because they are kind of common. So here is that paper-based interior. They do wrap them, and I appreciate that because it keeps like the paint from rubbing in the box. And this is actually this is double wrap. So they did a good job on that. Look at that. Has mirrors on it. Nice. Got pretty, pretty standard tampos, but they look pretty crisp. Ram 4x4. Printer style tampos because it is a mainline and they look good. So pretty basic, this is Matchbox. There's not going to be a lot of like goofy racing tampos on a lot of stuff or just like funny themed paint jobs. They're just really nice versions of stock cars. So this looks great. Huge. Look at that. Huge sunroof there. You can see the detail. This thing is blue on blue on blue. So you get a blue exterior, get a blue chassis, or like a blue, like, what do you call that? Like blue bumpers or fenders there. And then you also get a blue interior. So, and blue bumper in the back. So this thing is fully blue. Pretty cool though. I like that they have, I think these are toolboxes in the side. So it's cool that they added that element to the die cast. But I really like the mirrors. I know that's not a big deal, but mirrors are a big thing in the die cast world because often we go without them on more expensive models. So it's cool to see the dollar version of this truck come with that. And there you can see there's no exhaust or anything. So that's pretty typical of the electric vehicles, and it has a more rounded shape there, which is cool. So that'll look good in your action driver count. Woo, boop, pull it up to the to like the, what is it, the charging pump, I guess. Charging stations are not pumps. So but that's not bad. So all right, let's check out the Citroen, however you say it. Please forgive me for butchering that. Let's see. It's nice. Maybe they do package them all in paper. I thought they didn't, but some look at that beautiful yellow color. It'll be interesting to see if this is the exact yellow or if it's different, but very nicely done. Look at the tampos on that. Very sharp. Remember, this is $1. This is $1 like 19 casting, and it has really nice tampos. I mean, the car, the shape of it, they nailed the shape of that. Like that slanted back with the extra windows. Their chrome chassis gives it chrome bumpers. It's got the classic like steel wheels on it. Look at that. That is nice. It is left-hand drive, which I find interesting. So does that mean it is the North American version of this car? I would assume so. Or were they all left-hand drive? I would assume some were in right-hand drive because it is a French car, right? I don't know. Let me know. Do you know about this model? Did they make it in right-hand drive? Because I assume they did. But if you're a collector of this casting or just like classic castings in general, this is a really nice car. They did a good job on this casting. So just like to compare the size, it's not bad. It is definitely larger than real life, but it's still shorter than like the Ram, which we like to see. So Shout out to Matchbox. It doesn't have the, I wish they would put the scale back on them. I really do. That made it so much more like to know what you're actually looking at when you're looking at the car. So I'm like saving the best for last here. Okay, the 2023 Ford Transit Custom. Come on, little guy. There we go. This is almost like wax paper. It's not like normal paper, so I assume it's like plant-based or something. Look at that. That actually looks pretty sweet. I'm a little bummed. Ooh, I wonder if that is a error. Because I feel like it should have something on the grill. I don't know. What do you think? I will check and see if that's an error. Because it almost looks like it has Tampo stamped on there, but it didn't. Because it's odd to me that they would put the Ford logo on there and not stamp it Ford. Because that's usually brands are pretty specific about that. But, well, I don't know. I will put I'll find it online and then put a picture of it right there. So that way we know if it's an error or not. But the casting itself looks great. I really like this gray color. It has the like side taillights, not full back, but side taillights a little bit. As you can see there, they're not all the way on the back. It does have the Ford logo there with nothing on it too. But it says E-Transit. Ooh, I like that. Matchbox edition. That's kind of cool. So black and yellow. It's got the classic steel wheels. I don't know. The front is interesting. I feel like it's not done right. I'm going to lean towards that, so I don't know if I'm right, but it feels like it's not done, which, if it is, that's a rare Matchbox error. We don't get a ton of errors on the Matchbox side. Maybe like one for every 50 I open, maybe. They usually do pretty good with the quality control, and this one doesn't look too bad other than maybe some tampos missing. But this one also has very thick mirrors, which is cool. So I like that. This is a nice casting, especially if you have an Action Drivers or City Town. This is a good one. You can buy a couple of and have a little like EV fleet going there. So cool, not bad. All right, let's do the Corvette. All right, 2023 Z06 convertible. I've seen a few of these in real life. I've never ridden in a Z06, and I haven't seen any ZR1s. But man, look at the color on that. It is crazy bass boat. I mean, it is metallic as it gets. It is so sparkly. Wild. I don't know. I don't feel like I got metallic from the box. I feel like I just got like regular gloss black. But anyways, the casting looks awesome. Headlights, the Corvette logo. It's almost hard to get the tampos because it is so shiny. So little Corvette logo back there on the back. It does have full taillights. Corvette, that looks great, especially for $1. I mean, that looks absolutely beautiful. So the Z06 does have, I believe, that spoiler. The only thing about it is on the actual one, I believe there is like a little bit of room. There's some air in between here, but that because of the casting, it's all together. So not bad. Again, this is $1 casting. This isn't a $5 casting, so it's okay to have some like simplicities added to it, but overall this looks pretty good. So this piece right here is part of the plastic interior. The interior is fairly detailed. It has that classic Corvette, the C8, like what do you call that, like waterfall or control center. In the center it does have a nice shaped steering wheel, pretty detailed for $1 car. It's really not bad. I do think that the windshield fits very nicely. Like some cars that can be popped up too high or smashed down too low. I think this fits pretty well. This also has mirrors. We're really on a streak with mirrors here. So the Citroen didn't have mirrors, but the rest of them have, which is pretty cool. So pretty flat chassis, which is probably like the real car. This is part of the chassis, as you can see. The ground effects, the car sits super low. It looks great. This looks awesome for $1. I don't know how I feel about the sparkles, but the casting overall, especially with the 5-spoke wheels in the red, looks really, really nice. So whether this one's for display or play, it looks good. Very nice. That's probably one of the winners so far. Look at that. My table must be leaning to one side, but I like that. That's a really good looking casting. Okay. All right. The BMW Police Sedan. Let me know in the comments, too, if you found any of these, because I have not found a lot of new cars recently. So this was like a little bit of like a gold mine. So check that out. Not a huge fan of the giant new kidney bean grills on a lot of the BMWs. But this, as a body style in general, I think looks pretty good. So what is going on with Matchbox tampos right now? Like, that is odd. That is definitely supposed to be more towards the rear of the car. The taillight is like stamped on the end, right? Yeah, it should be stamped on the end. That looks like they were supposed to like stamp right here and they missed and they stamped forward. So kind of rare to see some Matchbox like 2 tampo errors possibly tonight. But yeah, that one is definitely an error. I don't know about the Transit van, but that one I can clearly tell is. But as a casting, this looks great. Really nice police graphics on the side. It does have the light bar sticking through the roof. The headlights look pretty good. They're a little minimal. They're like, what do you call that? Not contrasting. I can't remember what the, like, relief style almost, where they just put black and then the silver behind it kind of puts the detail within the headlight. So it does have a BMW logo up front. The grills, I think the grills, are those pad printed? They are pad printed, so thank God. I don't want to see the printer style graphics on Mainlines, but this looks pretty good. I like the silver wheels. Not a bad first debut of a casting. 2023 police. The only thing off about this, man, I wish the tampos. Now I'm going to have to get another one and check and see if the tampos are any better on that one. But this car looks great. And Matchbox has done a couple other BMW police cars, so this will go really good with that. Cool. Okay, let's do the big rig, some of my favorites. So let's check out this utility truck. This one, I'm really interested in seeing the grille and some of the markings on this one. Man, that looks cool. Okay, let's see. So no GMC, nothing on that. So I will put, does it have a year? So I will put a picture of the actual GMC 3500 truck like this to see if the grille does have a GMC logo or the truck does have it somewhere on the front. But this is cool. It definitely has that GMC look. Like, I feel like you can tell it's a GMC even though it doesn't say it on there. So it says Matchbox City Electrical Service, the modern Matchbox logo, GMC right there on the side. Some like warning or like reflective tape there. Got a lot of stuff on the back, some tanks. Looks like some electric. Oh, there's a welder, it looks like, which is cool. Some other stuff on the back. Very thick paint on this one. I think that's probably like a stop or a caution. Not bad. This is all metal. This whole thing is metal, which is kind of surprising because a lot of times now, both Matchbox and Hot Wheels has been doing like a metal cab and we'll do like all plastic back here. But this looks good. It's kind of heavy actually for a Mainline. So a cool part, it does have an orange interior, which I'm not thrilled about, but it doesn't really matter. It's a utility truck. It can have a whatever color interior, and it was $1. But the orange up here also goes over to the like footwell over here in the steps, which I don't mind. I think the orange goes kind of like well with the yellow and like a construction kind of look. So let's look at the bottom. Yeah, this is cool. I like this. And it's 4-wheel drive. It has 2 diffs. Look at that. Nice. Did it say 4x4? It might have, and I just overlooked it. No, it just says utility truck. So cool. You might take like a silver Sharpie and add some detail to that and really bring it to life. But this is a cool one. Ooh. It'll be exciting to see what they do with this one. Hopefully we can get it included in some 5-packs, some new construction 5-packs or something. But that's awesome. So, all right, let's check out the last one, the MBX Turf Hauler 2. Boom. Ooh, this is pretty big. Is that a moving part? Do I see a moving part? All right, let's see. It does. A moving part on a Mainline. Oh my gosh, celebration. Boop, boop. Yeah, that is awesome. So it does have the Matchbox construction logo on it, which will match a lot of other things in the Matchbox diecast realm, which is awesome. I love when they do that. This actually has quite a few tampos. So it's got the stairs up front, and then there's a little black like on the... what are the grab bars. It is a little sloppy up there at the top, which isn't my favorite. I don't want to see Matchbox start to slip on the tampos, but we've seen a little bit of that today. So hopefully this is just a fluke, maybe with the power grab boxes or something. But even on that Unit 34 right there, the black right there looks a little sloppy. But Turf Hauler Unit 34, this is all metal right here. The basically like the big design or the construction of it. It's got a lot of metal too. Very cool. How often we don't get this very often. A moving part, and it looks like there's actually a lot of room, and you could almost like fit a car in there it looks like maybe a little backhoe or something to carry it around. But this is cool. Absolutely love anytime we can get a moving part, especially when it's a moving part that makes sense and makes the play experience and casting better. Like if there was a moving part, I don't know, like even if this like if this hood opened, that really wouldn't make sense because in an electric vehicle, you don't really need it. That doesn't really help my play experience, but this does. I can put stuff in it. You can, drop it down. You can do so much with this, and this looks awesome. So this is one I wouldn't mind grabbing a few more of just because it does have a moving part, and to have a fleet of these for your construction zone would be awesome. And Matchbox has a ton of construction play sets. They have really kind of run wild with those. There's like 4 of them in the Action Driver line now. So that would be really cool, and to match it up with that. But let's do a comparison of the Citroen because we were worried about that. So obviously you can see it is, not the same size, but it is larger scaled than the dump truck. But let's see if it'll fit in there. That way we'll see kind of like a, oh, cool. Look at that. So you could actually carry the Citroen around in that. Not too bad. So it is a little bit bigger. So shout out to Matchbox on that. Doing well. So, all right, let's go open the 4 remaining ones. These we can go pretty quick. But there was some I skipped. Like I don't remember opening the Supra unless we did it in like a 5-pack or something. But this Bronco looks so good. Look at the tampos on that. It's a little sloppy right there, but it is $1. But I still like to see Matchbox keep it pretty sharp, and they're kind of like, I don't know, some of these haven't been the best, but even for $1, there's a lot of detail on that grill. I know it's like kind of choppy and doesn't look the best on some of the corners and stuff, but this is for $1, remember. Out back looking very nice. Crisp Ford logo. It does have taillights. It's got the Bronco license plate. It's got the tailgate handle there. And I like how it looks like there is a spare tire in the back, which is hiding some of the peg, the assembly peg that goes through there. So really nice job by Matchbox by putting that little spare tire there to hide some of the peg. You can see it there, but when you actually look at the back, it looks like, you can kind of put it like that and make it disappear. So again, mirrors on this one. Do we have mirrors? Yeah, mirrors on the BMW, really mirrors on everything else. No mirrors on this because those are probably like huge mirrors that would stick out, and obviously none on the dump truck, but this looks absolutely fantastic. So if you're doing a vintage diorama or have a vintage town or doing like a car show or something, or even have just like a display for dealership, this would look so good in the showroom. Just really nice one color. I like that they didn't paint the top. It just looks, this is like what Matchbox does best right here. Just an awesome casting. Very well done. Great wheel choices, great color choices. Just 10 out of 10. You can't really get better than that other than having some of the paint look a little better. So let's check this out. What is this? Is this a Garbage King? Right? Yeah, Garbage King. Nice. So I don't know if I have one of these in red. I have it in blue, white. I think I have it in green. Matchbox City Waste Services. A lot of tampos on this. This is the plastic back here. That's pretty common because if they made this whole thing out of metal, it would probably cost like $3. So it's cool that they are still doing kind of like smaller scale trash trucks, because I always like those. Anytime you have a city fleet, it's cool to have different trash trucks for the different neighborhoods or like trash brands and stuff. So I don't think this moves. I don't think it ever moved, in my opinion, if I'm remembering in my memory. The cab is metal, of course. The chassis is plastic. When did this come out? 2018. So it was a 2018 or 19 model. I wish it did have some tampos on the front just to make it a tad more realistic. But they do give us a lot. Like we have orange, white, red, gold on the side. There's a lot of good detail on this one. Again, these are dollar models, so you can't be too picky, but they did give us a lot of tampos on the side, and I guess that's where it counts on this one. You really don't need front if you have these awesome tampos on like the trash part of it, the compactor. So, all right, let's do the Dodge truck. Now, from the picture, I'm expecting there to be some front tampos on this one, like a grill or a headlight or something, so let's see. Nice. Matchbox delivered on that one. So it looks like it's smiling at you. This 100% looks like it's like some kind of face of like an old-timey face of some sort, but headlights look good. It's got that nice Dodge logo on the grill. The grill lines are awesome. Those are tampos They have done a really nice job on those. So that's like more of what we're used to with Matchbox tampos. Not a ton of overrun. They're done right. They're all together. That's a good example of Matchbox tampos. So it's good to see that they're still keeping stuff pretty tight on occasion. So I like that they add the Dodge on the tailgate. That looks so good. There's a little chip on that one, isn't there? Yeah, I think there might be a little chip on there, which sucks. So that's a bummer. But overall, the truck is pretty good. I do like the tan fenders. It's just a very unique looking truck. So again, if you have an old time town or you're doing a car show or something else in your Matchbox town or your diorama town, those look great together. So, or the farm, this would look great on the farm, on the Action Drivers farm set. Oh, sorry, almost knocked over the camera there. So, all right, lastly, the 2023 GR Supra. Nice. That looks really, really good. It's got gloss black wheels on it. Very nice tampos. They look very sharp. There's just a little bit of overrun on the corners, which it's a mainline. This Toyota logo, awesome. Like, because they're not even making the hood logos or the fender logos that sharp on premiums. Even sometimes RLC, like, that is awesome that it is that sharp. So let's go out back. Supra MK5. I think that says Matchbox at the top. It's a little hard to tell. The GR logo looks good. Again, the Toyota logo at the top, like on the spoiler, looks good. The Supra isn't bad. Taillights look good. They're pretty in place, I think. They might be a little off, but not bad at all. So really nice casting. This looks great. Mirrors, the yellow is super bright, and it is a different yellow. It's more of a gold color. So this is more of like a bright, like a canary yeller color on this one. This one's more of like a almost like a gold, a darker yellow. My bad, I filled up my my camera card and I had to empty it. But yeah, really like the Supra. I think it's cool to have two yellow colors in the same kind of like wave. Matchbox, just, they do such a good job with all these main lines. Like, there's not one here that I opened that I wouldn't buy again. If it was a different color or in a 5-pack or whatever, they just have such good castings. Like, this BMW looks good. The Corvette looks awesome. I mean, all of these, there's just not a loser in this group. Even this one, like, I know these aren't everyone's thing, like the electric vans and electric cars and stuff, but Matchbox does such a good job at executing them and making them look realistic and putting in great detail for $1. So every one of these is a hit. I absolutely love these. And of course, let me know what you think of these in the comments. Which one of these is your favorite? Have you found any of these? Like I said earlier in the video, I've been having a little bit of trouble finding new stuff, or I come across like a bunch of it at the one time and then don't see it for like months and months. But these are all awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these in recolors and other like 5-packs or whatever else they do with them. But let me know if you found any of these. Which one is your favorite? I'm definitely, I really like this dump truck. This looks awesome. The police car is good. The Corvette, the new GMC, the dump truck, really all these. Like I said, they all look great. It's hard to pick a favorite. But I think if I had to pick an individual favorite, I do think, even though this is not a new casting, the yellow Supra looks really good in yellow, and the police car. This is just a super nice casting. Matchbox does a great job with police cars, like utilitarian cars. They both have mirrors. Everything looks good. So like I said, let me know what you think of these in the comments. I really appreciate you watching. This is Sam, 64 Wheels. Like and subscribe as always. And I think tomorrow or the next one I have scheduled, I have some Matchbox moving parts and collector's models from 2025 that I just came across like within days of this one. So I need to film those too. So appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.